All right, first question. What is one thing I was looking at Alabama the other day, doing my homework. Is there one thing that scares you about Alabama that you might want to spend the summer with?
No, I think it's their physicality. I mean, they were committed. I mean, they're big, they're strong, they're physical, but also their culture of they expect to win. And I think you play teams like that, which is what you love to do, you understand it's going to be a battle. It's like we do. We expect to win every time we walk on the field. They expect to win. So I think the great competition levels in which they do, and I think they're very big and strong in front.
So about the defense that you guys have, how does your defense set the tone for the rest of the team?
Well, I think they've got to control the line of scrimmage and take away those plays, be able to create field position and opportunities, whether it's turnovers, sacks, negative field position things that they create that, which all great defenses do. And I think we have the ability to do that. But you can't force it. You got to play. You just got to play great defense. Those opportunities present themselves. You got to take advantage.
Jimbo, talk about the conference and what the buzz is right now with the Heisman winner, with what Clemson did and everything.
Well, I mean, we've done it for that. We've had 2 Heisman winners the last 4 years. We had 2 national champions played for 3. We're 8-3 in the games where you're a playoff game or a major 6 game. With 5 Orange Bowls in a row. Non-conference record against every league is we're a winning record. Playing in national games. I mean, and the coaches. I think you have tremendous coaches in this conference. You got tremendous players. I think all the way across the board. I think it's developed. I think right now we're the best conference in football.
Coach, you've always been a quarterback guy. You played quarterback. How important has quarterback play been to the success of the ACC?
Oh, and look at it. I mean, you're talking about not only did we have, they had the Heisman Trophy winner, the runner-up, and they weren't the highest drafted quarterback. You had the number 2 draft pick in the whole draft that came along with it. And then you still had Brad Kai. You still had DeAndre Francois. You still have the guy at NC State. That young man's going to be one heck of a player. The quarterback at Virginia Tech had a heck of a year. I mean, there's a great group all the way across the board. If you have good quarterback play, you usually have a great league.
Can you talk about Lamar and what you saw last year, obviously, up close and personal, and then how difficult it is to come back after you win a Heisman like Jameis? Jameis kind of.
It is. I mean, and I think the thing about him, he's so dynamic and he's explosive, and he can beat you with his legs, he can beat you with his arm, and he's a great competitor. You know what I'm saying? And even when you got a guy for him, you don't get him on the ground. You know what I'm saying? That makes it very unique. But at the same time, man, he can throw the football. He can throw it down the field. And Bobby definitely knows what he's doing, calling plays and doing things. They've got a great system. I mean, it's tough because people put so much expectations and they put so much clutter in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different things you got to do now, responsibilities. He's got to remember to go back and play ball, and I'm sure he'll do that because he's very dynamic player.
Talk about number 12. What does he have to do this year? Because I was watching him during the spring game. It looks like he may have to use his legs more to get away from people because last year he kind of got stuck in the pocket and he got clobbered. And
he did, but he still made. You go back, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. He ran for a lot of yards. He created plays with his legs, and that's going to be all dictated by what we call, what we do, and how things go. And I feel very confident where we are up front right now. I like what we're doing as our skill guys. We just got to be consistent and be able to get the ball in and out of his hand, and make good decisions.
Sports Illustrated named Derwin James the best player in the country. What was your reaction to that?
Didn't surprise me. Because you're talking about a guy who's had a tremendous freshman year, expectations, tremendous athlete, can play out 3 or 4 or 5 different positions, but great intelligence level. That's the thing about him. He's a tremendous competitor, but he's also very intelligent. I think that's one of the most things that we don't talk about with players. All your great players usually have very high IQs, very intelligent guys that can process the game, process what's going on, and learn different positions. To play the multitude of positions he plays, you can't do it and not be a smart guy, and he can do that. So, when you combine all those things, he has a chance to do that. Hopefully he'll live up to those expectations.
Defensive players typically don't get a lot of love for the Heisman. Do you think he's the guy with those skill set that can maybe break that mold?
I know they keep saying that, but Woodson's already won it. He had Peppers, who was getting pushed for it a lot last year. So I think that dynamic, is coming around a little bit. I think we're appreciating that we're supposed to be rooting for the best player. You know what I mean? Not always an offensive player. And I think the way the game has come, and now that you have to we've got such a space game on offense that when you find those special guys that can be space players and still be physical, they shine. They even stand out more now than they ever did, in my opinion. So I think it gets some more recognition. Hey, if it happens, it happens.
Coach, what did you tell during last year?
Well, I think, one, you got to be a leader. You got to approach every game as if you're playing. I think it's very hard, but at the same time, if you're a team guy, you got to do that. And don't waste this opportunity. Sit in and watch the game and learn the game and study the game and look at it like a coach does. And understand why we gripe about such detail, why we harp on everybody doing it right, not 9 guys or 10 guys, you know what I'm saying? And I think he really got a grasp of that because he got to sit back and watch how one little thing would 10 guys are perfect, and one little detail can mess up a whole play. And I think he got a greater appreciation for the game of football.
How do you think it made him a better
I think it made him appreciate being on the field and what it meant, and that how vital every play, every second is. So how he played in the spring showed that, and I think he got that across to his players. Don't ever take anything for granted.
And Jim,
I recruited Marcus. See, I signed Mark. He's a great player. Great guy. Extremely competitive. We were like we are. I mean, both sides of the ball. You had multiple draft picks, high draft picks. We played for a national championship. We won SEC titles. And two guys were very competitive, and they would be dominating, and they'd blitz and come through with the blitz. And he'd go, hey, like that. All right, so we go back and draw something up in the dirt. All right, they're doing this, we do. And I tell you what it did. It made our players, coaches, and everybody else around us not only interested in camp competition, but it expanded our horizons of how you got to move the football, how you got to stop people. I think it made us both better in the competitive nature. He was the head coach, and we ultimately did that. I would never do anything, but we had our pride too, and that's like I want our defense to do here, and when I'm in it with the offense. But at the same time, they were epic battles. They really were, and it made me such a better coach because you had to learn how to combat all the different blitzes, fronts, things he did coverage-wise to attack them, and I think it helped them. Because when we got in game, we always felt that our toughest competitors were in practice, not just because of players, but because schematically we could attack each other in certain ways.
and Jimbo.
How much you guys know each other? How much is it going to be a chess match?
Oh, it's always going to be a chess match, but we've changed a lot since. That's been a long time ago. But, philosophically, I think is where we're still very similar. And how we look at teams, how we look at the game, you know what I'm saying, and how we approach things, I think, from that standpoint. But I think schematically, little things change, and you got to look on film at what they're doing. But they're not only have tremendous players, tremendous tradition, tremendous history. I mean, they're going to be coached. He's as good a coach as been in college football, maybe ever. You know what I'm saying? And one of the great ones today. But it's a great opportunity for us at the same time.
Jimbo.
Yeah. And somebody did tell me that. I think he didn't mean it like that. I think he meant it in how we structure teams. That we still believe in size makes a difference. Size, and then you have to have your dynamic playmakers in your air guys. But at the same time, you have to have a certain level of physicality, and defense is the key to everything. And you got to be great in special teams. You got to be great in that. And I think that's what he meant. So they built like an ACC team. Is that what y'all want me to say? But at the same time, I mean, no, it is, and he didn't mean it like that. But I think philosophically, we look at the game very similar of how we recruit, and that because we're head-to-head battles so many times in recruiting and things, and I think our philosophies are very similar.
Talk about the coaches in the state of Florida. You got Kiffin, you got Butch Davis back down there, and just talk about the coaches in the state of Florida and how the competitive
Well, it's always
is.
been tough. I mean, I don't mean this in any different way. I just worry about Florida State. I can't worry about Butch. I can't worry about Lane. I can't worry about the guys at Florida and Miami. I mean, we control what we control, just like we tell the players, and we do what we do, and we'll get our players. But there's a lot of good ones down there. I mean, Charlie and all those guys they're all over. I mean, Scott Frost does a great job at UCF. I mean, there's coaches everywhere, and it's a state full of players.
Last season, you get pushed